Okay, guys, it feels kind of funny to be on here and like introduce myself. so, I'll just kind of start from the beginning. So, I am really excited to talk tonight to end the Diamond Dash. I seriously can't believe it's over already. And everybody kind of has like their thing, right? So, I feel like as Beachbody coaches, we're all so different. And so I think eventually you find your own groove. So today I'm going to talk about what I kind of feel like is my groove. It's my thing, and hopefully it's going to help you and it'll be your thing too. Because in my opinion, what we're going to talk about tonight is the secret sauce, okay? It's something that I feel like you guys can all apply to your business today. When it comes to advancing in rank, recruiting, and building your own team and your own team culture and helping your coaches advance in rank, I'm going to tell you what I believe is the secret sauce to my team. So, okay. So I'm just going to tell a little bit about my story. So this is my family. So I'm a mom of four. I have 4 kids, Caitlin, Jeffrey, William, and Bree, 10 down to 3 years old. So I'm married also to my husband, Jeff, and we just bought a farm outside of Portland, Oregon, in March. So we live outside of Oregon with our 4 crazy kids, and we have 7 goats, 20 chickens, 4 pigs, and a bunch of rabbits. And so, yeah, we have our little farm, and that's kind of our life right now. So, yeah, we have more Oregon people on here. So we love Oregon, and we moved here just because we wanted adventure, and our kids are wild and they needed space. So we bought our little farm, and really that wouldn't be possible without Beachbody. My husband actually graduated last year from pharmacy school, but now he's home most of the time because of Beachbody. So we've been able to be home and build our farm and be with our kids. So as far as my Beachbody story goes, it really gets started after my 4th baby. With my first baby, I gained like 50 pounds of baby weight, and seriously about killed me. I was so paranoid about it with each baby after that. I struggled with depression and anxiety through all of my pregnancies, and I had 4 babies in 7 years. So by the time I got to my 4th baby, I was just like drowning in my life. My husband was in graduate school. I was, trying to work nights as a nurse, and I had no idea how I was going to lose my baby weight. So one day I literally just woke up and I got tired of just being depressed all the time. And my little girl was dragging me out of bed every day, and I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to drown anymore. And I went back to myself when I was a little girl. And when I was a little girl, I was like this passionate little girl who wanted to save the world. I knew I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to cure cancer. I wanted to build orphanages in Africa. I had all these crazy dreams. And I just had so much passion and drive to help other people. And I just lost that. And I was just lost in depression after, and my life was crazy, and I started doing Insanity, and I lost all my weight, and I just felt like I got my life back. And I just became so passionate that no mom should have to feel the way I felt then. And I just started helping people. And it was that point that Brigida found me. I'm mutual friends with her husband, Jason, and her sister-in-law. I went to high school with them. And Brigida just started to build a relationship with me. And she invited me to her group, and she just kept telling me, Missy, you would be a really great coach. And she kept telling me that over and over again. And I kept telling her no. And I kept telling her no because the truth is I had zero belief that I could be a successful coach. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to coach people, and I was scared. And finally, I just realized that I was already doing it. I was already loving people, and I was already helping people. And so I finally committed to Brigida after like the 7th time to start coaching. And it was at that time, that I was so passionate about the products that I threw myself into coaching, and I loved it. I had so much passion for Beachbody. I remember the first time I went into corporate in Provo, and we sat around the table with a bunch of Diamond coaches from Utah, and I introduced myself, and Doug started laughing, and he's like, "You really are like a Beachbody crazy person." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I totally am." Like, I was so passionate about the products, and I loved coaching challenge groups. I could do that. I could get into a challenge group. I could sell a challenge pack, and I could love those people. But 3 months into the business, Brigitte asked me to be on her Teen Cup team. And I was like, oh, heck no. Like, I am not competitive. I am that girl that never played a competitive sport. I had this fear well up inside me when she asked me to be on her Teen Cup team, because I was never exceptionally good at anything. I was a decent swimmer. I was a good cheerleader. I was an okay singer. And I had this fear well up inside me. And I was like, I'm going to get on her team and I'm going to fail. And I didn't want to fail Brigitte. I mean, she's Brigitte, right? So I told her no. So she put me on, she's so patient with me. She put me on Jason's team. And so I was on Jason's Teen Cup team, and I went on vacation for the first 2 weeks of that month. And it was the first time in coaching. I was 3 months in. I was an Emerald coach, running groups. It was the first time that I was like, oh my gosh, like I get to take a vacation. And I remember driving away from our house, and it was actually a Thursday. I had just gotten paid, and my husband looked at me and he said, Missy, he said, you made enough this week. You can quit your job. You don't have to come back. Like, just tell them not to schedule you. And I've been a nurse for 10 years. I'd worked through every pregnancy, put my husband through school twice. I mean, I was exhausted. We hadn't taken a vacation in 2 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can quit my job. And I loved being a nurse, but I wanted to be home with my kids and my husband more. So I did. I quit my job that day. And I was like, don't schedule me. I'm not coming back. I put in my 2 weeks and I never looked back. But what I realized then was, oh crap, like I'm moderately successful. I'm selling challenge packs. I'm making money, but I don't know if I can really be good at this. I'd watched Brigitte do it, and I was inspired by her and Jason, and I was like, I don't know if I can really do this. And I went back to this girl that I'm going to call like the nice girl. Like, I was never exceptionally good at anything, but what I was good at, and what I realized then, was all I was really good at was being the nice girl. And I didn't know if that was enough. I didn't know if that was enough to run a freaking rock star business. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know if that would work. So by happenstance, that vacation lit a fire under me, because I wanted that lifestyle. And I had to figure out how to draw that out of myself. So I came home and I went to work, right? I had 2 weeks left of July. I think it was July. T25 had just come out, and I was like, gonna do it. And I'd never hit Success Club 10, and I went for it. And I don't even remember how many points I got. But it just so happens that in 2 weeks, I sold enough challenge packs and got enough points that I won, like this, I hit Success Club, and Brigitte sent me a prize. And I was like really excited that I was like, yes, I can do this. And she sent me a prize, and I will forever be grateful to her for that prize, because it changed the trajectory of my business. So I'm going to show you what it was. So this is actually my second copy, because my first copy fell in the bath because I read it so many times. But this book changed everything for me, and it's called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And she sent it to me, and I kid you not, I was like, yeah, I'm not reading that. I wasn't big on personal development either. But like, it said the greatest salesman in the world. And to me, the word salesman is like, ugh, icky. Like, I don't like to sell things. And the only reason I could sell a challenge pack was because I finally realized that I could help people invest in themselves, right? And that was worth it to me. I was passionate about it. But being the greatest salesman in the world, like, I had zero belief that I could do that. So actually, the only reason I picked up the book was because a friend of mine said, oh my gosh, Missy, you'll love that book. The ending is about Jesus. And I was like, what? no way, it is not. So seriously, that's the only reason I opened the book. And it changed everything for me. So I'm going to give you the short version, but the character in this book wants to become a salesman. And his father figure gives him a gift of these 7 scrolls, which taught him to be the best salesman in the world. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm going to learn 7 concepts of how to be a better business person. Okay. So the thing that caught me off guard was the very first virtue or idea that they teach this young man to become the best salesman in the world is love. And it stopped me dead in my tracks, you guys, dead in my tracks. And I went, oh, I can do that. I'm the nice girl. Like, I'm not sure I can do anything else well, but I can love people. Like, I know how to do that. And for the first time, I thought, okay, I can do that. And so I'm going to read you the quote, like I actually have it on my desk. But I'm going to read you the quote, and then we're going to talk about how to apply this to your business today. So it goes like this. If I have no other qualities, I can succeed with love alone. Without it, I will fail. Though I possess all the knowledge and skills of the world, I will greet this day with love, and I will succeed. Okay, so that little passage in that book lit a fire in me so hot. Literally, I thought I was going to jump out of my skin. And you can ask Brigitte, like, I'm one of those annoying coaches that you cannot push me. I don't like it. It freaks me out. You can't put a deadline on when, like, diamond dashes freak me out. Like, I do not like to be competitive. But I read that quote, and I was like, I can do that. I can love people. So you guys, like, this is going to sound super cheesy, but it's the truth. Like, I have built my entire business on that one concept. My team was born out of that quote, out of love. It's really true. Oh, the author, Og Mandino. Okay, and this is what it looks like. It's like really like, it's 120 pages, you guys, and it's on Audible. Audible's like my best friend, so it's on Audible. Okay, it's like my favorite book in the world. Okay, so here's my favorite quote. We're going to read it one more time. If I have no other qualities, I can succeed with love alone. Without it, I will fail. Though I possess all the knowledge and skills in the world, I will greet this day, today, with love in my heart, and I will succeed. It's that last part, okay? I grabbed onto that and I said, if I can love people, I will succeed. Like, it still seriously chokes me up, because for me, like, that's all I had. Like, I had no confidence that I could do anything else, but I knew I could do that. And I was already doing it in my challenge groups. And so I had to ask myself, like, why? Like, why am I not advancing in rank? Like, why am I 3 months into this business and I'm an emerald? Like, why am I so afraid to talk about coaching? Like, coaching is spreading love everywhere, you guys. All coaching is teaching people and showing people that they are worth loving themselves enough to invest in themselves. That's it. That is what you're doing. When you sell a challenge pack, you're loving that person and you're teaching them to love themselves enough to invest in themselves. Okay, so when I could talk about inviting all day long, and I will tell you that I have a really great inviting video. It's grainy and awful. I made it for my team like a year ago, but it's called Breadcrumbing, and it talks about how I apply love to my inviting process. So that's like a whole separate call. But you guys, if you will just take this one thing and apply it today to how you treat your challengers, to how you talk to people. Like, when you open a message and the book says to do this, before you even type a word or say a word, you, in your head, say, I love you to that person. Like, I'm probably an over affectionate person. Like, my husband teases me, I tell everyone I love them, because I do. I love everybody. Like, everybody should, right? So you guys got to start your messages like that. And if you're not like a warm, fuzzy person, like, that takes practice. And you got to say, okay, this person I'm talking to, this person I want on my team, your team is your family, okay? Do you love your family? Really, think about it. Like, your team is your team family. You love your family, so every single person you recruit, you already love that person, okay? So start with that foundation, and it will change everything for you, okay? It took away the fear that I had of recruiting. It took it from feeling icky, like the word recruiting, I actually don't even like that word. I'm like, I don't even know what to call it, but I feel like finding my family members, that's what I should call it. Like, I don't even like that word. But here's what I do to recruit with love. Here is where the fire literally got so hot inside me for recruiting that, like, poor Brigitte, I finally went diamond. You guys, like, I was not a diamond in 30 days person. I hope you guys are. I hope you guys are all diamond at the end of this 60 days. But if you're not, okay, maybe you're like me, and that's why I'm here tonight, okay? So you have to find your why for recruiting, okay? We talk about your why till you cry for coaching, okay? But why do you want a team? And this is what I finally figured out about myself. Like, I knew why I wanted to coach challenge groups, okay? Because I was the challenger. I was that dark, depressed mom who couldn't get out of bed. Like, I needed a dang challenge group. So I could coach challenge groups all day. But why do I need a team? Why do I need the business? I was so uncomfortable talking about business because I wasn't business. But when you flipped business on its head and you said, having a team means what to you? What does it mean to me? So I finally got it. And this is what I understood, is I went back to that little girl with the superhero cape on. Okay, I wanted to save the world when I was little. And man, I believed I could do it. Okay, I was the kid jumping off trash cans, thinking I could fly. I was crazy. Drove my parents nuts climbing trees in my Sunday dresses. But like, I was that little girl. I still wanted to save the world. And you know what, you guys? You are one person. You could be the best dang Beachbody coach in the world, but you're still only one person. And guess what? Not everybody is going to relate to you. I had a coach the other day, dead serious. I had a prospect message me and be like, Missy, I think you're really, really great, but I don't really want to be on your team. Like, your team is all moms and you're all this way and I'm not. And so, you know what I did? I was like, okay, I love you enough to help you find where you fit. And if it's not with me, I'm not going to be offended. Like, that's okay. And so the truth is that you create a team of coaches because you can't save the world by yourself. You can save the world, but you're going to get really tired. So put your arms out, okay, and invite people to be part of what you're doing. You're spreading love everywhere. If you add people to your team, it's like the game Red Rover. I tell my team this all the time because I do not like to be in the spotlight, okay? So in that picture, that's me in the middle in the red shirt. And I don't like to be the one like I don't want to stand in the middle of the road by myself. You just look stupid, right? But if you stand with your team and you're holding hands and you're all happy, you look really cool, right? So the truth is it's like the game Red Rover. You start with one person and you believe that you can do it. And you stand out there and you feel really vulnerable and you say, who's coming over? Who wants to be on my team? And guess what? Those people who are like you, who relate to you, who want to save the world and put on their cape, like, they're going to join you. And you're going to put out your hand on one side and you're going to put on the hand on the other side. And you may only have 2 emeralds for a while and the rest are going to be discount coaches, but you better dang well love those people and lock arms with those 2 emeralds and run like mad to love as many people as you can. And guess what? Now there's 3 of you. Now your team got bigger, okay? And you're connected. You're solid with that team because you're founded in what? In not just love for what you're doing, not just love for the people you're coaching, but for the person next to you. Okay, now imagine the power that you have. Okay, remember that, I don't even remember. There's there's this picture of these little kids, and they're all holding hands and they're surrounding the world. I don't know where I saw that, but I saw it the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, that's coaching. It's like you create a circle and you surround your sphere of influence, okay? But when you grow your sphere of influence, when you grow your team with love and connection, the people are going to want to be on your team. Have you ever like walked past a game when you were a kid and you're like, I want to play that game. That looks fun, right? Well, the more you grow this, the more connected you are to each single one of your coach. They're going to add their coach, and they're going to do the same thing. And if you focus on loving those people, they're going to be drawn to your team. They're going to want to get on their team. I warn people all the time. I tell them, hey, you get in my team page, you're not going to want to leave. Because like, it's not me standing there by myself. It's all of us. Okay, so when you start with love and you pass that through every person, that is a powerful thing. So don't underestimate it. Okay, so we're playing Red Rover here. And I am going to give you some specifics, but here's your golden nugget. You want to create a recruiting culture. Okay, your team has got to feel like a team. If it feels like a team, people are going to want it. They're going to feel confident that they can invite coaches to your team, and they are going to want to join your team. Okay, so I know that as brand new diamonds or as coaches getting started of becoming a diamond, I know you guys. I know you're that person standing by yourself in the middle of the field. Like, I was that person, you guys, and I was scared. And I didn't know if I could create a team, but I knew what it would feel like, and I knew it wasn't about me, okay? It was about increasing my sphere of influence, adding those people that we could do it together. And it's not as scary if you do it together, right? At least that's how I think about it, because it makes me vulnerable to be standing there in the field by myself. Okay, all right. So who do you talk to? Like, who do you love onto your team? Like, you're pushing for diamonds, so who the heck do you get on your team? So the first thing I want you to do is what we just said. I want you to feel how your team is going to feel. Brigitte made me feel that. That's why I joined Brigitte's team. The only reason I finally said yes to Brigitte is because I saw her post a picture jumping on beds at the Chalene Johnson seminar with Mindy Rose and Amber Marshall. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am missing from that picture. I am supposed to be there, and I didn't get an invite, and I am really green with envy. And Brigitte didn't even get on the plane to come home before I messaged her, and I was like, I want that. And what is it that I wanted? I wanted connection. I wanted a team. I didn't even know I wanted a team, but that's what I wanted. So I joined Brigitte's team because I wanted to belong to something. Okay, I wanted to feel part of something. So you guys, I don't care if you have 0 coaches right now. When you talk to people about coaching, when you're talking to your prospects, you need to help them see what you're building. You need to hold that vision of what your team's going to be like inside your heart, okay? And when you build from that vision of love, and I just wanted a team like Brigitte's. I wanted to know that when I showed up to work as a Beachbody coach every day, I had a team who loved the heck out of me. And I still picture this, but I remember being like, someday when I go 15-star, the only way that's going to feel good is if I have 15 diamonds up there on stage with me crying as many tears as I'm crying, because I didn't do it right. If I get there and my coaches hate me, or they're not proud of me, then I did it wrong. Like, it's not going to feel good unless I'm invested. And maybe that's not what everybody wants, but that's what I want. I still want that. We're still working on that in our team. And I'll tell you, like, that is what we're building, like fire and connection and love in our team. So hold that in your heart. I don't care what you want your team to feel like, but put it there. And when you talk to those people, you tell them what it's going to be like. And you say, all right, you're going to join my team, and guess what? I'm going to lock arms with you, and then you're going to lock arms with your coaches, and we're going to do this together. It's not just me. You get a whole team of people. So the cool part is when you start like that, and then your team gets bigger, Now I tell my new coaches, I say, you tell your prospects, okay? You tell that person that you talk to, they're not just getting you, they're not just getting me, they get the whole team. Our entire team is built on the foundation that every single person that walks into our team is a leader. Everybody helps. Everybody leads. Okay? We do all kinds of things in our team to grow that, and we can talk about that in a minute. But like, I don't care if you're a new coach or an old coach. If someone asks a question or adds a new coach, like, you give some love to that person. Like, it's an expectation. Like, that's what we do on Team Rocket. Like, that's who we are. And so that's what's so good about it. So Jamie Dungan's on here tonight. He just said Teamsters. So that's our joke, mine and Jamie's, because he's one of our guys on our team. We don't have very many guys on Team Rocket, but he's awesome. So you're Teamsters. Like, everybody should feel part of the team, okay? All right. So you need to create that feeling inside yourself of what you're recruiting to, even if it's not there yet, okay? Then you don't get what you don't ask for. I have to remind myself of this all the time. If I want challengers, well, guess what? I better ask some people. I better post about it. Okay, you don't get what you don't ask for. I didn't go diamond. I know exactly why. Because I wasn't asking for it. I wasn't recruiting. I wasn't talking to people about coaching because I was uncomfortable with business. But the minute I flipped it and I said, oh, I can talk about loving people. Oh, I can love people. That's what building a team is. That's what recruiting is. So talk about that. But you got to ask people, okay? You got to ask for it. Okay, the other thing, you guys, is love is not exclusive, okay? It's not exclusive. It's inclusive. So don't count anyone out. It's really easy to be like, oh, that person wouldn't want to be a coach. Well, how do you know if you don't ask them? Okay? Coaching for me is like chocolate cake. Okay, who doesn't want a piece of chocolate cake? It's like the best thing ever. It's cheesecake, for crying out loud. Okay, so don't count anybody out. That challenger who is half in, half out, don't count that person out. Don't you dare rob them of that opportunity to be part of your team, to be part of being loved. Like, everybody needs to belong and everybody needs to love. So when you grow a team like that, everybody belongs there. Okay, everybody. So don't count people out. Stop freaking yourselves out and just ask some dang people, okay? So I'll give you an example from my business. I had a coach, Ashley Clark. She'd been in a couple of my challenge groups, and I hadn't talked to her in months. And when I had this aha moment, I sat there and I thought, oh my gosh, I love Ashley. She was awesome in my challenge group 3 months ago, but guess what? She's not in my challenge group now. She probably doesn't want to be a coach. Turns out, I asked her and I said, you know what? She totally could be a great coach. She's a lot like me. So I messaged her and I said, hey, Ashley, have you ever thought about, I don't know, like being a coach? Because I think you'd be a really great coach. And she said yes. And I was like, oh. The only reason she said yes is because I asked her. Same thing with my Star Diamond coach, Ashley. You know, like, if I wouldn't have asked Ashley, she would have never become a coach. Well, maybe someone else would have asked her and she would have done it later. But you have to ask, guys. So get to asking and stop putting a limit on who you ask. So don't count people out. Okay, more specifics. Okay, so how do we draw people to our team? Okay, so the first thing you got to do is love your life. Okay, if you don't love your life right now, do something about it. Okay, work on your 3 vital behaviors. Are you taking care of you? 90% of the time when one of my coaches is struggling, or ask Brigida, when I'm struggling, why is it? Because you're not loving yourself. Okay, you got to get back to loving yourself. So love your life. And just like my husband said, I built a business on throwing myself up on Facebook, right? Like, because when you love your life, it's contagious. It's contagious. And people are like, oh, I want to be part of that. Like, that's what you need to do. So you got to love your life, and you got to post about what coaching does for you. Okay, so you have to talk about coaching. One coach that I think does this really, really well is Stephanie Davies. She's from Portland, and she's really, really good at this. So you can go follow her. You can say hi. Missy sent you. But she's really, really good, and she taught me this, that you have to talk about coaching every day. And you have to like weave it into your life, and you can talk about it indirectly. It doesn't have to be like, hey guys, I'm a Beachbody coach every single day of your life. But you better be talking about it every single day. So find ways to talk about how it's blessed your life. So talk about it indirectly, and also, guys, you got to talk about it directly. You got to say, coaching's amazing. This is what we do. This is why you want to be part of it. Raise your hand if you want to join my team. Like, you guys, you got to invite people. You got to directly talk about it as well. So practice doing that. Ask yourself, okay, I posted about my workout. I posted about my family. Did I talk about coaching today in some way or another? Sometimes for me, my husband, I told him the other day, he sent me a picture, and he's working hard lately to help me build my business by posting. And I said, he sent me a picture of him in the goat pen. Okay, he's in the goat pen with my kids, and I'm up here working, and I can see him from my office. And he sends me this picture of all the goats, and I said, Jeff, you got to post that. Tell him I was teasing him that that's his office, right? Like the goat pen's his office. And so he totally did. He's like, I'm here in my office with my crazy employees, you know? And I was like, that's it. That's how you talk about coaching. It's an indirect way that my husband just talked about the fact that he's home because I'm a coach, okay? And everybody knows it. So, okay, so you got to talk about it. You have to ask. Okay, so the other thing you guys have to do if you want to recruit is you have to use natural deadlines. So natural deadlines are really easy with challenge groups. Okay, of course they are, right? We set a date, we start a challenge group. We set a date, we start a free group. We set a date, we start a challenge group. Well, what about coaching? Okay, so a lot of people now do coach sneak peeks. In our team, we host a sneak peek every single month. What did that teach my team? It taught my team that that's an expectation. That's what you do, right? Everybody invites to the coach sneak peek. That's what we do. So it's a natural expectation. And then here's the power behind it. You're not just recruiting by yourself. You're recruiting as a team, right? So it's like you run a huge sneak peek. You all do it together. You set that expectation as a team. And all of a sudden you have this natural deadline for people to talk about coaching. And to be honest, like, I needed that in the beginning. I needed that to recruit to because I didn't set that expectation for myself. So the other natural deadlines that you can use are any type of sale. So especially the 21-day fix is usually a kicker, but size for me has been great too. And why does that work for coaching? Okay, why do sales work for inviting to coaching? And I'll tell you the secret is this. Like, you're gonna have people who are like, oh, I really want size. And they've been on the fence about being a coach for a while, right? And then you can message them and be like, hey, Sarah, I just wanted to let you know size is on sale this month. So it would be like a perfect time for you to sign up as a coach. We're gonna run a size group. You can sign up as a coach and get your program. Okay, so sales aren't just natural deadlines for challenge groups. They're actually really great natural deadlines for coaches. Okay, it makes them bite the bullet and actually just jump if it's something that they wanna do. Okay, the other natural deadline that's easy to set is this. So this last week, I happened to sign up like 6 coaches, and they're all awesome. So I have 4 other coaches sitting over here on the fence, right? That happy little fence. And you know what I did? I created a deadline. I created a natural deadline or a soft deadline, whatever you want to call it. But I messaged those people and I said, you know what? I have these other coaches getting started and they're awesome. And you know what? You would totally relate to them. And they're just getting going and I'm starting to train them. And you know what? You need to be in with them. Like I'm getting them going. You don't want to miss out on jumping in and starting with this group of people. So guess what I did there? They want to be part of something bigger, right? I didn't say, hey, guess what? I'm the best coach in the world. You have to be on my team and you have to join now. No, I offered them to be a part of something. And guess what? It totally works. And you know what? They love it because then they're like, oh, yay, I get to join the group. And it's really fun for them. And then you tell them, like, this little group, this is your group. This is for you. You guys get to hang out together. It's awesome. And you know what happens naturally when you bring them into that? environment of love, it's magic. They love each other and they coach each other. It's amazing, you guys. I put all my new coaches in one conversation group and they ask questions in there, and then guess what? A week later, they're all answering each other's questions. It's amazing. And I just sit back and I'm like, I just love you guys. You're awesome. Okay, it makes my job so much easier, and then they get to feel part of something, and it's not about me, okay? All right, so you gotta treat recruiting as a vital behavior. If it is not on your business activity tracker to invite to coaching, make a new business activity tracker. That was a game changer for me, okay? Because I'm a lover, okay? Like, I just wanna love everybody, but I still have to work. Like, I can't just throw it out like from confetti. I have to focus the confetti sometimes. So you have to hold yourself to it. So you can love people and you can recruit to team and you can do that, but you have to hold yourself to it, okay? Now, when you're recruiting with love, sometimes that means letting those coaches borrow your belief, okay? They're not gonna believe in themselves as a coach yet. So use team, okay? So for example, I have a challenge group and I have some new coaches in it, and then they invite their coaches or their customers, right? So this is what's cool that happens when I do that. I get to engage with their customers that first month as their new coaches. I get to love those people and they get to connect with me in that challenge group. And then when my coach goes to invite their customer to be a coach, I can be a second point of contact. So they can message the person and say, you know what? You would be a really great coach. And then I can message that person and just say, I'm so glad that Rachel added you to the group. You know what? I would love to have you on our team. And then it's not just Rachel's team, it's Rachel and Missy's team. And all of a sudden, that circle of love gets bigger and they feel part of something and they feel cozier about saying yes to being a coach, okay? It's letting them borrow that belief and letting them feel it from more than one person on your team, guys. It's a team effort, okay? So we're gonna talk about asking why, and I'm gonna give you this last golden nugget. Ready? This was my game changer. Golden nugget. If you have someone interested in coaching, get them on the phone. Okay, if you have them in your sneak peek, don't you dare put them in your sneak peek without setting up a time to get on the phone with them. I've been pushing my coaches to do this. You guys, why? Why do you call people? Okay, because you love them. That's a no-brainer. Why do you call your mom? Okay, you love your mom. So if you want them on your team and you want them in your team family, call them, you guys. It's okay, you can do it. So here's what I do. I don't give out a ton of information about coaching over Facebook because guess what? You can tell by now, obviously, I'm super passionate about it. And a passionate messages turns into like 25 sentences, right? And you know you get past 5 sentences and they don't read it and all your passion is like, right? It's gone. They don't feel any of it. And I can love the heck out of someone in 50 sentences, but they're not gonna feel it because it's just too long. So you gotta get them on the phone. So when you get them on the phone, what do you do then? Like, what do you do? Okay? You tell yourself, 1, you get on the phone and you say to yourself, before you ever get on, I love this person, okay? If they were my best friend, how would I tell them about coaching, okay? If it were your best friend, you know you're gonna be like, dude, you gotta be on my team. Like, you belong here. You gotta do this. It's great, okay? So pretend like they're your best friend, okay? Then you're gonna make them your best friend, okay? You're gonna realize that this is not about you, okay? They sign up, it is not your business anymore. It's their business, okay? This is about them. So get on the phone and talk about them, okay? Those first 5 minutes of every phone call I have with a coach or a coach prospect is never about me, ever. It's not even about Beachbody, okay? You've got 5 minutes, set a timer. Do not talk about Beachbody. Ask them about their kids. Ask them about their husband's job. Ask them how they're feeling, how their workout's going, whatever. Talk about them, okay, you guys? They need to know you care about them first, okay? If they're gonna be on your team, they better know that you care about them, period. So spend the first 5 minutes of those prospect calls talking to your prospect, okay? Get to know them. Love on that person. And then I ask them 2 questions. First, what do you know about Beachbody? Because I got to know what to explain first, right? And then why? Why do you want to be a Beachbody coach? Guys, get real and raw and vulnerable with these people. Okay, ask them why. And then you've got something to relate to. Okay, relate to their why about coaching. Okay, get to the bottom of it and love them for where they are. If they just want to pay for their Shakeology, be like, yeah, that's awesome. We can totally do that. And then guess what? It's Red Rover all over again. You lock arms and you help them meet their goal. Not your goal, their goal. Okay, so it's always about them. And when you get them on the phone, it's not like Facebook tag, right? You're like, oh, well, what about the money? And then you explain it. And then, well, what about this? No, you have a captive audience, okay? So you have to get them on the phone. And you've got to solve the problems. And guys, like if I would have typed this entire call out in an outline, would you have connected with it? Probably not, because you need to see a little bit of Missy crazy, right? So like, it's just not the same. Like they got to hear the passion in your voice and the compassion in your voice. They got to feel, you got to get good and comfortable with your feelings, people. Okay. I had one coach be like, well, you have to care about people, like really care. I'm like, yeah, you can't fake care. You have to like really care. So care about them. And if you care about them, it's going to come across. Okay, then you can answer their questions and you can solve their problems. And I let them steer the call. Okay, wherever that call goes. I really should record a phone call. Okay, question. At what point in the sneak peek do you get them on the phone? Okay, actually, it doesn't really matter. I don't even put them in the sneak peek without setting up a time to call. So I prefer, if I'm going to put them in a sneak peek, to call them halfway through. If it were my preference, I would say call them halfway through. But by the end of that sneak peek, you need to message them and you need to say, okay, it's the end of the sneak peek. What did you think about it? Is there a time this week that you're free that I can call you? How's Wednesday for you? I always give them a day. I always say, oh, how's this day? Because it kind of like gives you a natural deadline, right? People need like something to grab. So give them a natural deadline. Okay, so you guys get them on the phone and love those people. Okay, I gotta hurry or else I'm not gonna. Okay, oh, this is my favorite part. Okay, when I was first a new coach, I took everything personally. Someone would be like, no, I don't want to be in your challenge group. And I would be like, oh, they don't like me, you know? And I would take it personally. And now I literally want to jump up and down whenever I get a no. If you get 100 no's in a month, you should be so proud of yourself and you should be so happy, okay? You should be so happy. Why? Memorize this right here, okay? And every time you get a no, you're going to repeat this to yourself, okay? How I deal with the no will determine how many yeses I get in the future. Okay, this is love at its finest. Okay, love at its finest. If you love someone and they tell you no, what do? Write them off forever? Never talk to them again? No. Okay, no's are the best because you get to show them that you still love them afterwards. I kid you not. Let me tell you my story about my month. Okay, September 1st. Okay, I had 0 coach prospects. Okay, I have a list, but I had nobody new, nobody that was like jumping to be on my team, right? And I was like, crap, I don't have anything this month. Like, what am I going to do? So I just went to work, right? I ran a clean eating group. I was talking to people, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, voila, I had people messaging me. And guess what happened? They were all people who had said no in the past or who had seen me post about my lifestyle. And there were people, the people who tell you no and you love them anyway. I'm going to teach you what to do, but you love them anyway. They are going to get it. They're going to be like, oh, man, she didn't want to just talk to me because like she wanted to sell a challenge pack. No. She didn't want me on her team because she wants more money. No, it's not about that. It's about love, right? And there's always room for more love. So when you make it about love and they tell you no, you instill belief in them, okay? Say you talk to someone on the phone and they're like, yeah, I just don't know, like it's just not time for me to be a coach yet. Oh, this is where it's the kicker, okay? You say, I totally understand. I know life's busy right now, like it's not your thing right now, that's okay. I totally get it. But I'd love to have you anytime, so let me know if you change your mind in the future, okay? And then guess what? I have them on a list. So I have a coach list, and I am making sure that every month I'm going through that list and I'm liking their stuff and I'm reaching out to people. Okay, like I don't just let those people fly away after they tell me no. Same thing with challenge groups. Okay, so what happens is when you instill belief in them and you like still treat them like your friend and you still reach out to them and say, hey, how's your baby doing? Eventually, they're going to want to coach, because guess what? You're really good at showing how much you love your team on Facebook, right? So eventually they're going to be like, yeah, I want to be part of her team. Like, because she loves her team. I want to be part of that. That's cool. So you guys, when they say no, like chalk it up to a seed and say, yes, I get to show this person that I love them. And if you do that, guess what? The no's just roll off your back and you just don't even worry about it. You're like, okay, sweet, see you later. Because that's how it is. I'll be like, okay, guess what? You'll come around sooner or later. I had a coach, one of my rock star diamond coaches, Crystal Smith, didn't join for a whole year. And you know what? We didn't even hardly ever talk about Beachbody. I invited her a couple of times and she told me no, and I just kept talking to her about fitness stuff. And sooner or later, she was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to join your team. And she's a rock star. And you know what? We're super close. And she's one of my best friends. I love her to death. And it's because I didn't let the no get in the way of me loving her. Okay? And you know what? It's going to turn into your September, where this month I had nobody. And now all of a sudden I've signed up 8 coaches this month. How did that happen? It's not magic. It's because I invested love in those people long ago. And I didn't let it go. Okay? Okay. Okay. All right. The heart of your team. Okay, so we kind of already talked about a lot of this, but recruiting is part of your team culture because you lead with team, okay? Everybody wants to be part of your team. Everybody in your team is a leader. So of course they're going to lead the next person to do the same thing. So our team slogan is love. You start with love, you lift each other up, and then you all lead. Okay, it's just like Red Rover. Okay, everybody's a leader. And so of course they're going to naturally reach out the hand to the next coach and add them to the team. It becomes the heart of your team, and you recruit with team. Okay, treat your coaches like a leader and they'll become a leader. Okay, the other thing you guys need to be doing is, I heard Carl Deichler say this actually in Cancun. He said, recognition is the 4th vital behavior. Find every excuse to shower your coaches with love. Okay, you don't have to buy them presents. Okay, when your coach sells their first challenge pack, when your coach hits Success Club, like shout them out. Like we run a Success Club push group. That's a whole nother call. Every month in our team. It's just a conversation group. But every time someone in that group seriously hits Success Club, we shout them out. We shout them out in the team page. So, and then what happens when you do that? Every coach after you follows your lead, right? They learn from you how to love their coaches. So it just becomes this ridiculous, endless, I don't want to use the word love fest, but it's kind of true. Like you teach them how to care for each other, and then it's natural, okay? And then it becomes a team culture. So that is how you build a connected, thriving team culture, is by showing recognition to your team anytime you can. If you see someone in your downline or one of your coaches like post something really vulnerable and great, or does something really cool on their page, share it into your team page and be like, you guys, go check out this cool post. They did so good. I'm so proud of them. If they share before and after, heavens, share it in your team page and let your team just wrap their arms around them and give them a shout out. Okay. The other thing you can do is create pockets of encouragement in your team by creating, like we have a leaders conversation where, you know, when I feel like they're really invested and they're really growing and they're diamond or close to diamond, at least I put them in this conversation. And I kid you not, you guys, that conversation, like they ask each other to pray for each other. When they have a horrible day, like they get in there and they are so vulnerable with each other. So create that in your own team and be vulnerable with your team. I'm the first one to get in my team and be like, you guys, I'm having a bad day. I get in with my leaders, like my leaders know, like I'm not perfect. I tell my team all the time, like I don't have the best ideas. You guys are all leaders and business owners too. Show up, help me out, like give me some ideas, like share them around. Like, so don't feel like you have to love everybody, because like you can't be like the source of all the love. You have to grow it so that everybody does it. And so that's how you recruit, and that's how you use your team to do it. Okay. All right. This is the thing I'm going to end on. So this works for everything, but this works for recruiting. It works for when people say no. It works for those people who never answer your challenge group messages. It works for coaches who are struggling. This is the golden nugget of leading your business with love. Never underestimate the power of this question. How are you? Okay, I'm not teaching you to train your coaches to vent. Okay, everybody needs to vent sometimes. You're not your coach's therapist, although Brigitte would argue she's probably more like mine than a coach. But the truth is Brigitte taught me this. Brigitte cares about me like a person, and that's what I need. So I want you guys to ask people this question. Okay, you're a coach, guys. Ask, how are you? And listen. Brigitte listens to me. She's my friend. Beachbody could go away and she would still be my friend. Okay, that's what matters. So be a friend. Like, ask the question, how are you? So this works really good, actually, with people who don't know you very well. And it kind of catches people off guard. Like, I have people from my like page, right? And I'll send them like the cut and paste, hey, how, like the message from my like page. And if they don't respond to 3 different messages that I try, this is the message I send. Hey, it's Missy. How are you? Dead serious, you guys. How are you? Ask my coaches. This is the first question I always ask. When you get on the phone to talk to people about coaching, ask how are you, and then listen, okay? Listen. You have to care. And when they know you care, they're going to want to be on your team, and they're going to want to stay on your team, okay? What do you do when you have a coach that's struggling? The best thing you can do is this, okay? Just be like, how are you? Okay? Seriously, this is okay. I'm telling you, this is how you show people you love them. Even people who don't know you, this is how you show them they care. So if you take away anything from this call, this is it. Never underestimate the power of that. How are you? Okay? So easy, you guys. So easy. So connection, you guys, this business really is about loving people. You don't have to be a warm and fuzzy to learn to listen. Okay? I'm a warm and fuzzy. That's what I love to do. But it can be learned too. Just like I can learn the businessy reports part. Poor Brigitte. She's such a good coach, you guys. Seriously. You know, she's had to put up with me because I don't, you know, like the reports part is like tonight getting on this call, I'm like, my computer and my internet. So you guys experience the fact that I'm a lover and I'm not like a computer person. So that's okay though, right? Like, because I'm a successful coach and I did it with love, and that's okay. I can learn the rest. But don't underestimate the power you have and the ability you have to love people and change their life, okay? Beachbody has completely changed my life in every aspect. I know how to control my anxiety and depression. Like, what a gift, okay? I know how to make my body healthy and strong. I know how to feed my kids and show them how to grow up healthy and strong. Guys, that is such a gift. I've learned how to talk to people, how to get out of my comfort zone, how to be vulnerable, for crying out loud. Like, who knows how to do that? Like, this call, super vulnerable for me, guys. Like, trust me, not in my comfort zone. But you know what? I've learned, and it's because I love you guys enough. And my husband said, like, Missy, what are you worrying about? There's going to be someone on there that's you. And you know what? Whoever you are, like, I got on this call to love you tonight, because I know out there's someone like me that just feels like, well, I'm just a nice girl. What does a nice girl do? I spent years getting stepped on, you know, like feeling like I was never enough. but love is enough, okay? The book says it, guys. I'm telling you, it works, okay? If you have love, you will succeed, okay? So go out there, spread some love like confetti, and bust your butt and build a business, okay? So invite people and invite them with love. And when you start every single coach with love, it's gonna grow into a team like that. And you're gonna be able to reach out your hand to the right side and to the left side. And it's not just gonna be you coaching your coaches. Like, they're gonna have your back and they're gonna know that you care about them. And when they feel like quitting, they're not gonna quit. Why? Because you love them. And they're not gonna wanna give you up. And they're not gonna wanna give the team up. So how powerful is that? Okay, coaching, the most important person you ever change is yourself. Okay, coach yourself, show up for yourself, love yourself, and teach your coaches to do that. And then they're gonna do that for each other. Okay, that's it. I hope that was helpful. Sorry I was late to the call. I will figure out computers eventually. And I know you guys can do this. Like, if I can go diamond, heavens, you guys can. So you can do it, okay? So go after it. Just go out and love people. And now you're all fired up and you can do it. Because if I can, you can. I promise.